Lagos Talks
91.3.
News.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, says President Muhammadu Buhari will not spend a day extra after May 29th to hand over power to the incoming administration. The SGF, who is also the chairman, Presidential Transition Council, revealed this yesterday in Abuja during a press briefing on the update of the transitional process since the committee was inaugurated, and assured that the transition process to hand over to the new elected government is on course. Mustafa said the Transition Council broke into three committees, namely Inauguration Committee, headed by the SGF, Transitions Documents Committee, headed by Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, and the Facilities, Security and Intelligence Committee, responsible for the swearing in and facilitating effective planning of the inauguration ceremony. The Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASAN, says a litre of premium motor spirit, commonly known as petrol, should sell for between 360 naira and 400 naira after the subsidy regime. Its president, Festus Osifo, who disclosed this on Tuesday on the sidelines of the association's National Executive Council meeting, added that the association has compelled all its organs nationwide to make fuel available for Nigerians and threatened to withdraw the licenses of any member found wanting of hoarding petrol. Osifo also noted that sporadic fuel scarcity across the country must be addressed by the incoming administration, while palliatives must be made available to Nigerians to cushion the impact of the removal of fuel subsidy. Petrol currently sells at 184 naira per litre at some parts of the country and slightly higher in other regions as fuel scarcity and long queues gradually subside in most cities. Leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress, the NLC, has shelved its planned mobilization of workers nationwide to picket all Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) offices in the country. Its president, Comrade Joe Ajaero, who disclosed this, said the suspension followed the meeting with and compliance by the CBN management and other commercial banks to make cash more available to Nigerians.
And we are happy to tell you that, yes, there is compliance by CBN. But the NLC, after its next meeting, doubted the sustainability of that compliance. And we don't want to be calling you back after 2 days for another action. And we felt that we have to monitor this compliance for the next 2 weeks to see whether it is sustainable. Because they have rushed to move money to commercial banks, and some of those commercial banks are getting empty.
He further noted that the NLC has now decided to extend the ultimatum and give the CBN 2 weeks.
There are some banks that equally didn't open for weekend, and by this press briefing, we equally wish to advise the CBN play the role of regulators. They should play their regulatory program because they can sanction banks that are not compliant.
Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige had earlier at the weekly ministerial briefing expressed optimism that the positive response by the CBN to the demands of the union will avert the strike in the banking sector.
The Nigerian Labour Congress wrote us to say that the cashless policy is affecting Nigerians very badly, and that among these Nigerians is affecting that their members are affected. When they did that, we had to forward the letter to the CBN governor and told him in our own letter that he should act promptly because they gave a deadline. The deadline expired last Friday, and we acted before that Friday. And we asked the CBN to also act before that Friday. Call up their National Executive Council meeting because the initial decision to give that ultimatum was given by this same council.
Former Abia State Governor and Senator representing Abia North Senatorial District, Senator Iyorchia Ayu, says he has briefed President Muhammadu Buhari on key issues as they relate to the realities in the upper house, particularly on on the determination of the 9th Senate to enshrine a lasting legacy of people-oriented legislations. He spoke after a private meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari in the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja.
I suggested to the president, I say, we cannot allow you to rest. I'm going to be consulting the party. The party should bring back our board of trustees or something that looks like it, so that Mr. President will be chairman of the board of trustees of the party, so that every 4 or 5 months, he will come and see how the party is doing. We cannot just leave the party empty-handed. It was done on the young days of ANC, so that the president will still be part of the conscience of the party, so that we will have somebody to run to when we have problems in the party, because it's just God that saves our party. That is the truth. The quarrel inside the party is so much. The rancor is so much.
The former governor also stated that if the president of the Senate in the 10th Assembly is zoned to the southeast, he stands to be the best candidate.
The people in the big league can stop me, even when it's my turn, but I think that I will be a solution to what they're looking for. I will be a team Nigeria. I will play Nigeria first, Nigeria second, and Nigeria last. Peace and peaceful of this country is more important than number of votes we have brought. I want people to realize that we need to concentrate our energy in manufacturing things out of Aba and Newi and all the rest of them. We need to.
The National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, on Tuesday announced the replacement of the suspended chairman of the party, Senator Iyorchia Ayu, with the national vice chairman from the north, Damagum, as the acting chairman of the PDP. Announcing the appointment at an emergency meeting on Tuesday, the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Debo Ologunagba, said the action was due to the High Court order in Benue State of March 27, 2023, restraining Ayu from parading himself as the party's chairman. A High Court in Makurdi, Benue State, had issued an interim injunction restraining Ayu from parading himself as the national chairman of the party on Monday. The UN Children's Fund, UNICEF, has expressed concern over the fast-spreading cholera outbreaks in 11 Eastern and Southern African countries, calling for an emergency fund to address the situation. The countries are Burundi, Ethiopia, Kenya, Malawi, Mozambique, Somalia, South Africa, South Sudan, United Republic of Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. UNICEF, in a statement on Tuesday, called for emergency funding to broaden efforts to reach millions living across those countries which had been hit hard by fast-spreading cholera. It, however, called for $171 million in funds to support 28 million people suffering in the region. Some 13,000 police officers are deployed across France on a 10th day of mass protests and strikes over controversial pension reforms. Paris police say 22 people have been arrested in the French capital during demonstrations over pension reforms. Pictures have shown protesters clashing with the police in increasingly violent scenes, with tear gas used to disperse the protesters. Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin said the high number, a record for France, was justified by a major risk to public order. Union leaders are urging President Emmanuel Macron to hit pause on plans to raise the legal retirement age in France from 62 to 64. The Nigerian Exchange Limited on Tuesday witnessed further drop in market indices by 1.2% amid sustained negative investment sentiments. Specifically, the NGX All-Share Index dropped 626.14 points to close at 53,124.63, while the market capitalization shed 341 billion naira to close at 28.940 trillion naira. Consequently, the year-to-date gain moderated to 3.7%. The downtrend was also driven by profit-taking in medium and large capitalized stocks, amongst which were MTN Nigeria and Dangote Cement. Nigeria's under-23 Eagles lost 2-0 to Guinea in the final qualifiers for this year's under-23 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. Guinea progressed to the AFCON 2-0 on aggregate after holding the under-23 Eagles to a 0-0 draw in the first leg in Abuja. The defeat means the under-23 Eagles will not feature in the football event at the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. Also, the team failed to qualify for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics after failing to go past the group stage of the 2019 under-23 AFCON. The 2023 Under-23 AFCON, which will be the 4th edition, will be hosted by Morocco between 24th of June and 8th of July 2023. In boxing, two-time former unified world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua has stated he will hang his boxing gloves if he loses to American boxer Jermaine Franklin. Joshua was scheduled to fight Tyson Fury in a bout in November or December. However, the fight never came to fruition due to sponsorship issues. The 33-year-old would later opt to face Franklin come Saturday at the O2 Arena in Greenwich in London. The former champion will hope to upturn his bad run of form after losses to Alexander Usyk in August of 2022 and get back in contention for the titles. And that's it on the World News this morning.